Hear live play-by-play football, boys and girls basketball, baseball and softball, all season long. And a best of broadcast every Saturday at noon. All brought to you by Pike County Collision Center, Doobson Heating and Cooling, and our exclusive sponsor of our Sages Player of the Game, the State Bank of Bement's Monticello location.
WHOW is Central Illinois' Ag Station, and that includes providing farmers information on how the commodity markets close each day and week. I'm Todd Gleason from Illinois Public Media, University of Illinois Extension, inviting you to hear the daily closing market report weekday afternoons at 5:06, and on Saturdays, tune in for Commodity Week with a review of the week's markets at 8:30 in the morning, all on WHOW, AM, FM, and streamed online.
News time is 8 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Thursday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 8 o'clock newscast. With the tax season upon us, scams are likely to come from any possible angle. On the WHOW Morning Show Wednesday, Clinton Police Chief Ben Lowers told the Hart Media Group, with the additional disposal income coming in for some, the tax season becomes a prime opportunity for fraudsters to get their hands on that additional money.
This is a topic that myself and the other law enforcement leaders that you have on the show frequently are talking about. You know, scams are always an issue for us, but especially now through tax season, I guess there's more dispensable money out there with people receiving their tax returns. And it seems like they just get a little more aggressive and a little more proactive about trying to come out and scam that money. And so we just want people to be cognizant. We want to be having those conversations. We just can't do enough to spread public awareness about scams and what's going on. So, you know, with it being tax season, we typically will see an uptick in that, and especially when it comes to the IRS scams, because, you know, as you just mentioned, doing your own taxes and stuff, it's a time that people get a little bit stressed about getting them done, getting all their paperwork in order. And so to have a would-be imposter of the IRS contacting us, you know, can certainly raise some panic and whatnot, and oftentimes fall into that trap.
The chief reminds the IRS, or any government agency for that matter, will never reach out to you via text, email, or phone call with a demand, specifically a request for money through gift cards or cryptocurrency, nor with threats of arrest.
You know, first and foremost, the IRS is never going to contact you by phone, by text, or by email. Okay. And the things to look out for are unsolicited emails, text calls from the IRS. They're obviously going to contact you if there is a need to, through a more formal means of the U.S. mail through official documents. You know, when we get those attempts or those people reach out to us, those scammers, they're going to demand immediate payment. There's typically going to be an urgency to it, that here's the situation and you need to respond immediately. They want to put an urgency onto it and rush you into a decision, oftentimes to avoid arrest or further penalties. The IRS, you know, when conducting their normal business, they're going to provide taxpayers with time to appeal or query outstanding sums. So scammers are oftentimes also going to ask for payment by unusual means. We talked about this, I think, last month. The IRS is never going to ask you to convert money into gift cards or cryptocurrency to provide immediate payment. Those are immediate indicators of a scam.
Additionally, Chief Lowers says if you do happen to fall victim to a scam where you send a gift card or cryptocurrency exchange, it's highly unlikely to nearly impossible those funds get recovered.
Once that transaction is done, once that money is transferred to those gift cards or cryptocurrency, and that's provided to the caller or the scammer, that money is gone. We cannot track that down. Oftentimes, they're very sophisticated systems. They're very good at covering their tracks, and oftentimes that money is overseas at the click of a button. You know, it's very difficult for us. We get these calls, you know. I think when we get these calls right here in rural America, in small town Clinton, Illinois, if it's happening here, it's happening everywhere, you know. And so it's obviously oftentimes above our resources, but yet under the resources of the federal investigative agencies. And so when a person falls victim to a scam, the odds of recovery are virtually slim to none. So we've got to be so proactive on the front end of this to just try to avoid getting that situation to begin with.
At the Hart Media Group in recent weeks, we've heard from Connie Miller with DeWitt Savings Bank on scam trends both locally and across the country. We'll continue to highlight these issues in the weeks ahead with the likes of Lincoln Police Chief Joe Meister and Monticello Police Chief Rob Bross. The springtime can be a very stressful season for high school juniors as they prepare for standardized testing and are making plans for life after high school. Monticello High School principal Travis Corson says homeroom is looking a little different this year for the building's juniors. In the effort to find new ways to support their students, he says they will likely be dedicating homeroom to ACT prep.
And one of the other initiatives that we put in place is we did earn exemplary designation this year again, which is great. We've been exemplary 6 out of the 7 years. We missed it last year. And so looking at what we can do to improve some items, one thing that we put in this year that fits within our schedule is we have homerooms at the end of the day. And typically our homerooms have been scheduled 9th through 12th graders just in homerooms. And we've worked on different things in those homerooms, like social skills, how to a 9th grader speaking to a senior can have a lot of benefits behind it, right? But then looking at a few things based on our report card, those type of things, we asked ourselves, what can we provide our juniors to help prepare them for basically the test day come April 15th. That's when we're going to host it. And so what we did was we scheduled all of our juniors in 7 different homerooms. So they're all junior level students in there. And we had 7 teachers volunteer to take over these homerooms. There's 2 science, 3 English, and 2 math. And every Tuesday, Thursday, these juniors receive some type of ACT prep to help prepare them for April 15th.
Not only are these students studying hard and reviewing content, but they're also being prepared emotionally. Corson says they're trying to familiarize students with the ACT so they feel confident on test day to perform their best.
A lot of it is not only just content knowledge, because really we try to cover a lot of the content knowledge that you need for the ACT within our classrooms to begin with. Right. This is just a little extra boost. But hopefully what happens is come April 15th, our students are familiar with the test. They're familiar with the format. They're familiar with how questions are being asked, the anxiety behind taking that, because it can be an important day, right? Scholarship money can come out of that day. College entrance can come out of that day. Military entrance. I mean, it covers a wide area for our kids. So we want them to be able to walk in there confident, relaxed. They know that they're ready to go. And so that's one new initiative that I'm anxious to see how much of an impact that had.
While this is a new initiative in Monticello, Corson gets feedback often from alumni who share positive experiences at the school, especially when it comes to ways they felt supported and made ready for the real world. News time is 8:15 on this Thursday. Get the latest in local news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. A look at sports comes your way next. A full morning of interviews, as well as our high school road tour wraps up today at Lincoln High School. All that and more coming up on the morning show.
If the flu's got you down, the Warner Hospital and Health Services walk-in clinic can help you feel better fast. CEO Paul Skowron inviting you to make us your backup plan to better health. Find out more by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police splatter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Hear Clinton Maroon live play-by-play this season on WHOW, the Big 1520 Daytime, 92.3 FM in DeWitt County and 106.5 in Bloomington Normal all the time. Plus streamed at DeWittDailyNews.com, on the WHOW mobile app, and Amazon Alexa. Plus, hear a best of Clinton sports broadcast Saturday mornings at 10. All brought to you by Warner Hospital and Health Services, Baum Chevrolet Buick, and Keith Wade, your country financial agent, all in Clinton.
Digital marketing has its place, but across rural America, there's still one medium that farmers and ranchers consistently rely on: ag radio. Farm broadcasters reach agricultural producers where cellular service drops and internet connections fail. When farmers are making critical decisions in the field, they're listening to farm broadcasters they've trusted for years. Consider this: the average farmer spends 5 to 6 hours daily in equipment where radio is their primary companion. That's why ag radio offers agricultural advertisers unparalleled access to decision makers exactly when they're thinking about their operations. Farm broadcasters don't just deliver your message, they enhance it with credibility built through years of providing accurate weather forecast, market updates, agricultural news. National Association of Farm Broadcasting Research reveals that messages delivered by trusted farm broadcasters result in 30% higher brand recall and significantly improved conversion rates compared to digital agricultural advertising. Ready to reach farmers where digital can't? Visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com and put the power of ag radio to work for your brand.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. Avery Smith achieved 1,000 points, and the Clinton Lady Maroons took down the Cerro Gordo-Bement Lady Broncos by a final score of 68-30 in non-conference high school girls basketball action on Wednesday night in Clinton. The Lady Maroons celebrated senior night before the game. They jumped out ahead early in the first, leading 20-6 by the end of the quarter. Clinton almost doubled their lead going into halftime, making the score 44-18. The Lady Broncos did not score in the fourth quarter. Clara Dempsey led all scorers with 21 points for Clinton, including 3 baskets from distance. Avery Smith had 18 points and Carly Anderson had 12. With the win, the Lady Maroons improved to 26-4, while Cerro Gordo-Bement falls to 11-19. Clinton has one more regular season outing tonight as they travel to Decatur St. Teresa to take on the Lady Bulldogs. Tip-off is at 7:30 p.m. Tune in to the next Clinton Maroons sports broadcast when the girls begin their postseason run as the 2 seed in the El Paso Gridley Regional on Tuesday at 6 p.m. They will take on the winner of this Saturday's game between Maroa Forsyth and Sangamon Valley. Hear all the action on WHOW and all its digital platforms. Peyton Pritchard scored 26 points, and the Boston Celtics rolled past the Chicago Bulls 124-105 on Wednesday night in the final game for both teams before the All-Star break. Jaylen Brown added 24 points. Nikola Vucevic finished with 19 points and 11 rebounds for the Celtics, who have won 6 of their last 7 games. The Celtics carried a 28-point lead into halftime, taking advantage of Chicago's team that was missing several top contributors. Boston's lead rose as high as 33 in the second half. Rob Dillingham had 16 points and 7 assists to pace Chicago, which has lost 6 straight. Mattis Buzelis added 15 points and 8 rebounds. Vucevic and Chicago's Anfernee Simons played against their former teams for the first time since being swapped at the trade deadline last week. It was Vucevic's second double-double in 3 games with the Celtics. Simons finished with 7 points. It marked his first time being under 15 in his 4 consecutive starts with the Bulls. The Bulls played without Isaac Okoro with a knee injury, who joined what was already a lengthy Bulls injury list. Josh Giddey has been out since January 28th when he aggravated a hamstring injury in the loss to Indiana. Trey Jones also has been dealing with a hamstring issue that's kept him sidelined since January 22nd. The Bulls host Toronto on Thursday, February 19th, while the Celtics are at Golden State on Thursday, February 19th. The Chicago Cubs are coming off a 92-win season, return much of a productive and athletic lineup, have a deep group of talented pitchers, and signed 3-time All-Star third baseman Alex Bregman during the offseason. It's been nearly 10 years since the Cubs beat the Cleveland Guardians for the World Series title in 2016. The franchise has stayed competitive, making the playoffs 4 times, including last season, but hasn't been able to recreate the magic or talent that famously snapped 108 years of futility. The lineup is relatively young, but has experience, headlined by Pete Crow Armstrong, Dansby Swanson, and Ian Happ, Nico Horner, Michael Bush, and Seiya Suzuki. Adding Bregman, a two-time World Series champion, on a $175 million 5-year deal should make them even more formidable. The 31-year-old Bregman hit .273 with 18 homers and 61 RBIs in 114 games last season. The Cubs also still have Matt Shaw, who had a good rookie season at third base and is now expected to move into a super utility role because of Bregman's arrival. Shaw played good defense at third and hit .226 with 13 homers and 44 RBIs, overcoming a slow start at the plate and showing considerable improvement during the season's second half. The 24-year-old has spent most of his baseball career at third or second, but he has also dabbled in the outfield. Coach Counsell said Shaw will get more work in the outfield this spring as they try and make him as versatile as possible. Chicago's starting rotation could also be a strength with newcomer Edward Cabrera, who was acquired in a trade with the Marlins, joining Matthew Boyd, Shoto Imanaga, Jamison Talon, and Cade Horton. Cabrera went 8-7 with a 3.53 ERA in a career-high 26 starts and 137 2/3 innings last year. The 24-year-old Horton is entering his second season after a fantastic rookie year. The right-hander was 11-4 with a 2.67 ERA, though he missed the postseason with a rib injury. The Cubs' bullpen is a work in progress. Counsell did provide a mild surprise on Wednesday by confirming that Daniel Palencia would be the team's closer if the season started today. Palencia was very good last season with a 2.91 ERA and 22 saves, and Counsell envisions a similar role in 2026, though he also said the team must remain flexible. The United States opens its Olympic men's hockey slate as big favorites against Latvia today at 2:10 p.m. Team USA came up short in last year's Four Nations face-off, falling in overtime in the gold medal game. The Olympics opened with an upset on Wednesday with Slovakia beating Finland, and Italy gave Sweden a scare as well. But Latvia will be looking to do the same in a fight against Team USA. The United States has one thing on its mind in these Olympics: gold. However, they can't overlook their early opponents in the group stage like Finland did against Slovakia. Latvia doesn't have many NHL players on its roster, with just Teddy Bluger, Sandis Vilmanis, and Zemgus Girgensons up front. Uvis Balinskis is the lone NHLer on the blue line, but they have two strong goalies in Arturs Silovs and Elvis Merzlikins. For all the debate around Team USA's roster construction, they're still stacked from top to bottom. Austin Matthews, Jack Eichel, Matt Boldy, Jake Gunsel, and the Tkachuk brothers lead the way up front, and the defense is where the Americans are very deep with the likes of Quinn Hughes, Zach Werenski, and Jacob Slavin. But that doesn't necessarily mean the United States will run away with this one. Latvia has a few NHLers and, more importantly, a team chemistry that allows them to play better as a whole than the sum of their parts. In scores from around the NBA last night, the Atlanta Hawks fell to the Charlotte Hornets 110-107, while the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Orlando Magic 116-108. The Washington Wizards fell to the Cleveland Cavaliers 138-113, and the Detroit Pistons took down the Toronto Raptors 113-95. The Indiana Pacers beat the Brooklyn Nets 115-110. And the Philadelphia 76ers lost to the New York Knicks 138-89. The LA Clippers beat the Houston Rockets 105-102. The New Orleans Pelicans fell to the Miami Heat 123-111. The Minnesota Timberwolves took down the Portland Trailblazers 133-109, while the Memphis Grizzlies fell to the Denver Nuggets 122-116. OKC Thunder beat the Phoenix Suns 136-109, and the Sacramento Kings fell to the Utah Jazz 121-93. The San Antonio Spurs beat the Golden State Warriors 126-113. In NCAA men's basketball action last night, number 14 Florida beat Georgia 86-66. Virginia Tech upset number 20 Clemson 76-66. Sixth-ranked UConn beat Butler 80-70, while number 16 Texas Tech rolled Colorado 78-44. Number 2 Michigan beat Northwestern 87-75. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL Sports Wire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Hello, I'm Dr. Seuster with Covenant Animal Clinic. We're thrilled to sponsor the Adopt a Pet page on DeWittDailyNews.com. Simply look for the icon beside the masthead and you'll discover all the lovable cats and dogs at DeWitt County Animal Shelter, hoping to find their perfect family. While you're there, you can even complete an adoption application right online. Please help us share the message about these wonderful animals who are ready for a loving home. After all, a happy pet is a healthy pet.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
WHOW is Central Illinois' ag station, and that includes providing farmers information on how the commodity markets close each day and week. I'm Todd Gleason from Illinois Public Media, University of Illinois Extension, inviting you to hear the daily closing market report weekday afternoons at 5:06, and on Saturdays, tune in for Commodity Week with a review of the week's markets at 8:30 in the morning, all on WHOW AM, FM, and streamed online.